What's going on, guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Snapchat. I am fresh off of exercise, fresh off a run. Alex, I'm going to open up, put you on the spot. What's the weather like over there in Canada?
I just like, would you forget where I live, man? Yeah, so it's like very just like rainy right now, drizzly all over the place, lots of rain. My daughter had a soccer game and they're like, it's rep now, and they're like, we're not canceling for rain, we only cancel for thunder. I'm like, bruh. So we had to stand out there and get like soaked. And then that's the moment where I realized that like my wife's parents stole my umbrella. I bought this beautiful golf umbrella at Costco. It was clearance price, so I bought it. I don't even golf, but I'm like, yo, this umbrella can cover like my whole family. And then apparently her parents came over and were like, yo, that umbrella looks like it can cover a whole family, and stole it. So I'm like, yo, where's this umbrella? And bro,
dude, hey, stuff happened. Today I officially am no longer safe where I live. I was swimming. We're teaching our son how to swim, and I was swimming in the pool. And I got out, and there was a dad. There were two kids, and I went up to him on my way out, and I was gonna ask him like, hey, just like BS dad talk. I was like, hey, yeah, it's harder with two, like I just kind of like poke him a little bit about it. And as I said, I'm like, hey, man, and he goes, hey, and I was like, yeah, hey, do you? And he goes, are you a YouTuber? And I was like, yeah, I dabble. Like and he's like, no. He goes, I'm a grandmaster. And I was like, and he's like, your Cozy Rivals? And I was like, great, cool, so awesome. He goes, do you live right here? And I was like, in the area, somewhere. He's like, no, like in here? And I was like, yeah, in the area, He's like trying to pin it down. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to move. It's over. It's chop them up, bud. Not even safe in my own dojo anymore.
that's hilarious. You're like, yeah, actually, I'm in my backyard. Why are you here? Wait a minute.
Yeah, wait a second. This is it. Are you a pool guy? I hate pools, man. I hate them.
Dude, I don't like being wet. I don't like being sandy. We've already established that we're running shoes on the beach.
Now there's a beach
we
guy.
were
There's
at
a
a
big difference.
beach,
There's
man.
a big difference, though.
We were at a beach together. I didn't go near the water.
No, that's fine. But beaches are so much different than pools. Like pools are a whole other cesspool of things happening. Like I can never fully enjoy. Like I was in there swimming, right? Because he's like, God, I need to see you swim first. I'm like, you got it, dude, naturally. And then I was underwater, and I was like, yo, I haven't been in a pool swimming like this in like a decade.
I thought you were gonna be like, I went underwater and was like, yo,
how do I swim? Yeah, wait a second. What is swimming? No, dude, I did the thing where you go underwater all the way to the other end or whatever the pool, and I was like, I still got it. I don't know what
You're
I
like
still
one
got.
of those people that have like the mental challenge of like, you go into a pool and you want to swim, but you're not actually picturing other people swimming. You're picturing everyone is just teabagging the water.
100%. Yeah, and then like I know the kids by the stairs. I'm like, there's poop in there. There's two poops in there, and I don't know what it is about the summer, man. I just like I go into this like I need to be as fit as possible. I've been lazy because dude, our job is YouTube, so we just sit. We sit. We're professional sitters and professional sociopath. We just stare at a camera and talk to nobody. So eventually it just snaps, and then I just go crazy, and I have to get into running. And
that's hilarious because I bet you there's a lot of people that would resonate with this statement I'm about to make. I don't think I've ever had the thought, oh, I need to get in as fit shape as possible ASAP. That's never crossed my mind ever as a lifelong card gamer, video gamer.
Okay, well,
YouTuber.
I have a question for you because you're a dad with older kids than myself. Like my fear, the reason I do this is because my son is an active kid. He's active, man. He's like he makes active kids look like they're not. I was gonna go somewhere with that, but my fear is like, he's always like, Dad, let's race. I'm like, okay, smoke you, right? My dad smoked me in everything we did, and it got me better and competitive. But then like, bro, my fear is like, hey, Dad, let's play some pickup basketball. I'm like, all right, and then I'm like, I'm screwed because I'm like not in shape. Do your kids ask you to play sports?
So they do. Like my kids are still young. You make it sound like my kids are
but they're old enough to play. Yeah, mine's 2.5.
Yeah, like my daughter plays rep soccer, and she's tall like I am. Like she is like a foot taller than all the other kids in her class, and she plays striker. And I tell her, I'm like, listen, just go hard to the net. And she like just, she's good, man. She's good. She's athletic. And my two boys, well, like with the baby, I have three boys, but the two that are like the middles, they're both incredibly athletic, very, very good, excellent skaters, can pretty much do any sport. My one boy plays like he does ninja competitions. Like he loves sprinting and doing ninja stuff. And a big part of that, and here's what I did. I put all my kids, boys, girls, doesn't matter, all early on in gymnastics. And so like they learned like to control their core and to like balance, and like they're just incredibly athletic, way more athletic than I was. And I played very high end legit soccer. So yeah, like it's funny because I think the time is gonna come sooner than later where my kids will be able to outrun me and outplay me for sure. And
I can't
maybe
let it
that's more
happen.
of an indictment on the physical shape that I'm in. As opposed
That's
to
why
how
I'm
good
working
they
out.
are.
That's why I'm like, I can't. Like my dad we would play like horse, and I'd be like, man, I hope I can win today. Like, no shot, bro. My dad was just like, he was like doing behind the back. He's like, good luck with that one. I'm like, oh my god. Like
I can see that. Your dad's an absolute stud, man.
You know, he's younger than me. I feel like, man, they're busier than I am. That's for sure. But yeah, man, it's summer season, man. I'm excited to balance YouTube the best we can in this small little studio, and then try to get some summer activities in, bud. So looking forward to it, man. But we do have a lot to talk about today. We have that man with the chest out and the chains in the middle, who pretended to be Magneto, but is Magneto. I don't know much about him. I did learn this today. New X-Men is spelled New X-Men when you flip it upside down.
I'm actually trying to picture that in my head.
So
I think you're
new,
right.
okay, if you flip that upside down is Min. So New X-Men is New X-Men.
Oh wow!
It's the most
Okay,
mind-blowing
I
thing
do
I've
see it.
I feel like I should just have that as my thumbnail. Like, that's the coolest thing I've ever learned in my life. It's like race car is spelled the same backwards and forward.
You just did one of those things where, like, you know, the scientists are trying to figure out how everyone imagines things. Like, do you have an interior monologue? Can you actually draw things with your mind, etc.? So that's actually, I don't know why I said that. I think Hank Green talked about that a couple months ago. I know I watch a lot of Hank Green for some reason.
We're getting deep into Alex's late night doom scrolling. I love it. I also love the subject you're talking about on your side today. Over here, we're talking about we're gonna go through some of the move cards because Xorn is a move card himself, and say, do they suck or are they great? And kind of give some discussion towards that. And then the state of Snap, not the same discussion as always, but a little bit about where we want the game to go, where we see it at. Packs came out. What did that do? And more on that. Alex, what are we talking about on your side?
Cozy, on my side of the Snapchat, we're going to be discussing Elixir in review. I mean, we got so much to say about Elixir, not really, but anyways, we're going to be talking about Elixir for a short period of time before we move on to the more meaty subject, which is going to be the best cards that no one's playing in Marvel Snap right now. We're going to be taking a look at very high win rate, very high cube rate cards that have very low play rates, some of which just might surprise you. And then, as always, our Snapchat mailbag.
Well. First of all, I got to start out. People, we got the comments down below. We've heard you loud and clear. You guys like the React content. I don't think we've gotten more comments on a Snapchat about a subject in a very long time. So we will bring that back in some capacity. Very fun for us to do that, whether it's about our own content, whatever we do. That with the Reddit review. We're trying some new subjects over here. So definitely we'll keep that up for you guys. Anywho, on that note, we're going to talk about Xorn, Xorn, 2-cost, 3-power card. After any 3 or 4-cost card is played here, move it to another location. Now, I know for sure I was way higher than you on this card whenever it came into our initial rankings, Alex. How are we feeling right now? What's your rank?
You know what? I'm going to stick with 2 stars.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. What do you mean, oh, my God?
I'm actually trying to react so that we can react to this in like 6 months that you were dead wrong about Xorn, but continue.
Okay, that's fine. I'm so used to being wrong. It's fine. This does not faze me. Yeah, so I'm going to stick with 2 stars here. I just don't see why this makes a 12 card shell. I do see some potential here and there, but it has some offensive capabilities, has some defensive capabilities, but a lot of the cards that we're going to be talking about here are either not meta at all, or they've been heavily nerfed from when they were meta. And I do think that it's a very easy condition to play around as well. So I have a lot of questions as to whether or not this card is truly viable enough to sneak a slot into a 12-card deck.
Okay. Yeah, those are fair for sure. I'm going to go with the higher end of 3. I think he is, I'm going to go 3.5 with my ranking. And I feel like, for a couple of reasons, I like that he's a clear-cut offense and defense card. Love things that can affect your opponent, but I also think that he is, he gels with what has been the probably most dominant card outside of the Captain Shield and all that stuff. Scream has been the nonstop card of the year. Okay. And he's going to give that card direct, perfect synergy for it. Having a way to move cards without having to play cards is always something very strong. And then I love this at 2 cost. I think it's super strong at 2 cost. For what you're playing down, you're going to be able to open up so many more decks, cards that can work with it. new synergies against it. It can prevent Cosmo. I think there's some fun things about him that is truly just kind of being overlooked. I like him as a card a lot, and I think 3.5 is feeling pretty confident.
Okay, that's pretty fair too. Like, I can see the argument there. Like, obviously, I'm a bit on the lower side, you're a bit on the higher side. And it is funny that you bring up Scream, because Scream is by far one of the strongest archetypes right now, and the newest variation of Scream that's actually has the highest cube rate, highest win rate, is one that features a lot of the move cards that we're going to be talking about,
Exactly.
including Silk, Hydra Stomper, and stuff like that. And so, of course, Xorn would be a good addition to that. However, the concern that I have is Xorn just going to get carried by what is literally one of the absolute best decks in the game, or will it actually make a notable increase in its capabilities? Because you're going to have to cut something like a Sam. Now, you won't cut Sam Wilson, but do you cut something like Craven from a deck for Xorn? You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have to make a difficult cut somewhere in a deck that's already so impeccably strong.
Yeah, you know, I feel like kind of same with Surge, where you're like, well, how does he work? Or like, we haven't played Snap like this. I just feel like that he's going to kind of fit into that same mold. Like, it's like he's just adding something different to, you know, I think it's so easy to pigeonhole new cards into decks we've been playing, which typically works, but there's ways to really bring in some new heroes and villains into those decks that, you know, play differently altogether. And so I'm not thinking he's going to be a staple across the board. I just think that he's a huge chess piece that's going to fit in a couple decks really well, which is why I've got that 3.5 ranking for him. But yeah, fair conversation about it. I think in Scream, though, just in base Shell Scream, he's really cool as a tech piece, too. Like, yeah, you're going to get Scream, you know, going, and you're going to be able to move cards, and Hydra Stomper can build up, and whatever you want to do. But then you're also guaranteeing a lane where you don't have to worry about certain things happening, which is always great. Like, giving yourself a certified chance of, you know, not having to deal with a 3 or 4 into that lane is shutting down a good amount of strategies that decks have. Like, there's a lot of, especially, think about this, in advantageous locations. That's one of the things I don't think people are thinking about enough. There's locations that are just like game-winning ones that if you can land, you get going, whatever it might be. He can prevent that, and that really creates some cool opportunity from him. Yes, it's random locations. You got that. They have to do that because it's a 2-cost, makes sense. But then we start talking about some of the cards that he works with. Now, I teased at the my kind of cozy, spicy take when we talked about this in the pre-weeks a few weeks ago was Red Wing. I think that's a very interesting card to play with him. Red Wing typically has been super hard to play. This is on curve. Red Wing's a 3/5, right? And can play a card easily from your hand. So could that create some kind of cool, when I say Phoenix Force deck, I mean kind of like some cool archetype, new thing that we haven't seen before because we have a natural curve piece into it, possibly. But also that he just works with a lot of the move stuff to get insane value for not doing much. I like him way better than something like Hercules.
I do feel that like the Red Wing capability is pretty high. Like, you could come up with some sort of like mini move dump style list, which I think is kind of cool. And that does work on curve, obviously. And while discussing moves specifically, I mean, obviously you have things like Vulture that work well with Xorn. It won't work so well with something like a Human Torch, but Vulture specifically. And for that reason, I get to wonder if you're playing move, is Topaz strictly better because you have the ability to go directly to the center? Is Madam Web strictly better? And so I start to think about what move wants, and I don't know if Xorn is it. So then I start to think about, okay, if move wants Topaz or if move wants Madam Web, who wants Xorn? Do you lean into the disruption side? It's pretty cool that he like repels 3s and 4s, right? Like, that could be particularly advantageous, right? However, at the same time, it's only 3s and 4s. And I don't want to seem dismissive, but 1s, 2s, 5s, and 6s are highly impactful cards in Marvel Snap. And so when you have such a narrow band of impact from a disruption standpoint, is it too little to be useful offensively? And is it too little to be useful defensively? You know what I mean? Like, is it just not quite enough? Like, you have to pair it with something like a Goose for true disruption. Like, is that something you'd even want to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's definitely fair points. I think what I like is we've got a lot of solid 3s and 4s in the move category that can work. And namely, it's obviously like the Vulture or whatever are going to be the big ones. But the repelling fact is there's plenty of 3s and 4s that create most of the strategies into the later game of Snap. And that's why I think, yeah, it's only those 2. But those are some key turns as we've seen in the past. But yeah, you know, I don't think you have to lean into it that hard. That's the thing. I think that he can get his value going for him for what you're trying to accomplish. And then whether that is, the true move deck and doing, the leaper with him, with, whatever, building into that way, or building into a new tech piece. But yeah, so this is what I think is cool. Is as Alex says all the time, it's entirely possible that this doesn't work well. And you're right, he doesn't find that place. I just feel like the effect he's bringing at the cost amount that he is feels really solid to what he's going to bring to those decks.
He looks like he could be cool, and I think he's statted appropriately as a 2/3 with this ability. I just wonder if like this text is actually good. You know what I mean? I think that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I wonder if this text in a game of Marvel Snap, where like realistically, as more cards get added to the game, like this is a problem that we're having, where you get more cards added to the game and the decks get tighter and tighter and tighter. And it seems like win rates are getting higher and higher. Cube rates are getting higher and higher. We're seeing a little bit of power creep here and there. And this text feels conservative, right? It just does not feel like, it doesn't stand out to me the way like Surge's text did. Like Surge stood out as like, okay, this clearly is going to be really cool.
Yeah, and Surge is leaps and bounds better than Xorn, for sure.
Yes, there's no question about that, right? And that's I guess what my concern is. However, it's not to say that like there might not be an interesting spot for this. Like, I can imagine a Scream variation of a deck that's utilizing Xorn, and you could have something like a Kingpin now, right? And you could, obviously knock things into the Kingpin location. You could Polaris things into the Kingpin location. And what if you run something like a Diamondback, right? Because now you're able to put Diamondback in a location, and a lot of things that it would hit are being like repelled into that specific location. So, Diamondback hits anything that's debuffed, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I can see the viability here. These decks are getting so tight and so hard. Like we have a Havoc deck that's cutting Kitty Pryde. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of wild how like the most minute, difficult choices are being made around card selection.
Yeah, it's
for
true.
Very small gains. You know what I mean?
You think you ever go with the Xorn into a Storm shutdown location kind of thing? Man, I still miss 3-cost Storm so much. It just feels... like, it's just crazy that like that was such a reliable combo into so many different plays and avenues, and I would have loved it. Imagine the curve, because the problem is, right, with the Storm we have now is like if you were to play him, then you play her on 4, they have a chance to play, the 5-cost, and then nothing happens, right? But if she would have been a 3-cost, imagine Xorn into Storm. Like, yeah, you're gonna have your own Storm move, but then you have Xorn there, so you have some power there, and then you're probably playing a move deck, so then you really have a control aspect to play into this. And that's kind of what you were saying. Okay, does cards that you can work here restrictive really work into this potentially? So yeah, we'll have to see. I do think that that Vulture though is such a cool top deck that you can work out. That'll be fun. But overall, I'm not sitting here saying he's going to be the best card ever. I think 3-star though feels fair to what he might bring to that archetype.
I can absolutely see him being a 3-star card. Now I did have a thought though. I think an interesting card to play on top of him could be Professor X, because if you think about playing Xorn down, it'll repel all the cards pretty much after those next turns, right? Like the 3s and the 4s. If you're able to just throw down a Pro X and just like slap it on top, I think that could potentially just catch your opponent off guard, right? Because the Prof X will stick, right? And then like you've been repelling everything from that lane the whole time. That could be kind of cool. And if you could even try something fancy like Ravonna turn 2, turn 3 Xorn plus a 1-drop.
I like the Pro X play actually a ton. Yeah. It feels like the Daredevil of old, kind of like it feels like that, like, or the Storm play even, that is more like you have an actual shot, and then it doesn't really mess up your gameplay too. Like, think about this, right? I mean, obviously these hands, and what the hell is this deck? But just like, let's say you go Xorn into like Vulture, right? So Vulture goes to another lane, boom, it's big power. And then you close that other lane off with Pro X. So then you have like the big Vulture. You didn't really like, your game plan was around getting one of the other lanes. Xorn makes it random. So once that 3 moves or something happens, you commit to whatever that's going to be at, right? And then you kind of go from there, and then you lock out with the X. I think it's kind of cool. I think it's a fun little build that you could pull off. Maybe you go Storm in the other lane too with your 4. Then you can kind of pick between lanes. Okay, do they go in the Storm lane? You can X that other lane off. Whatever. You can build it into a control deck potentially. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it definitely could be. And I was even trying to figure out, like, could you do something cool with Jean Grey? But the only challenge there was that if you play Jean Grey into Xorn, it moves, right? You'd have to play Jean Grey first and then play Xorn on top of Jean Grey turn 4 alongside something else. to be consistently or potentially consistently disruptive, but then they might just play a 5/6, right? They could play Vision into Doom or something. So that's where I'm like I don't know. Like, is this even disruptive?
How cool would it have been if this was an ongoing after any 3 or 4 card is played here, move it to another location? Because then you could then potentially play this into ongoing decks to then work with that a little bit better. Like, at least you get something going more. Would you have liked this as an ongoing card?
I'm not sure. Ongoing's actually really good right now. Ongoing Spectrum is surprisingly legit. But with Xorn, I don't know. Like, I guess it would technically be better because this is not really an effect we're stealing. Like, you wouldn't rogue this. You wouldn't Enchantress this. Like, why? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you would have the Pro X and the Spectrum finish. You would have the synergy you just said.
Yeah, it would probably just be a straight up buff if it was ongoing, I guess, because it's just not worth stealing.
That's the way I feel about it. But either way, Xorn, do you pull him? Do you not? Like, listen, he's going to be in the packs anyway at this point, right? So he's not the worst thing to get. I mean, I think it's like one of those, like, this is where it starts to feel weird, though, because, like, you go in, not to spoiler on Elixir, but you go in and you're like, okay, I'm going to go for Xorn. You get Elixir and you're like, crap. And then you, then you pull a kid and then you get Xorn and you're like, oh, I just used 2 packs for this, right? Like, so that's where it starts to get a little bit choppy, little muddy waters there. Anything else on store? I do think we're not talking about the Red Wing thing enough. I think there are some really cool, interesting builds, honestly, with that you could pull off. That is like a new style of play that, like, potentially, and I'm just spitball, but it's like, all right, what does Red Wing do? He can help ramp things out, cheat things out. It's like, okay, do you build into that with ramp, right? With him as a 2, okay, like, I don't know, do you figure some stuff out where you try to get something rolling with the cheat outs? I think it's a cool possibility.
It definitely is, for sure. And even with Red Wing, a lot of those like Red Wing dump decks, we're running Heimdall naturally anyways. They had bigger pieces to drop the pull. Even had those Dracula dump style decks. Most certainly. And while you were talking, I was thinking, I think I know what the title of my video is. You could even do it for the title of Snapchat. Torn on Xorn, man. That's what I feel like. I'm torn on Xorn because, like, I'm not exactly sure how to feel. This is a card where I know it's not Surge. I know it's not Esme, to be honest with you. I think I actually have come to like Esme a lot. But where does it actually fall? It's close. It's on that edge. It's on the fence. Is it worth getting or not worth getting? And it's going to be a close call, I think, with Xorn.
Yeah, 100%. All right, guys. Well, that is our conversation on Xorn. With that, let's talk about the move cards before we go into all of them. Talking about the newest ones, right? In order, we did this not too long ago. It's been a couple more weeks. I want you to rank from the newest move cards that have come out, your favorite to least favorite. Good, great, or garbage. Go. Topaz.
Topaz is good, I think.
Topaz is good. Let's do, okay, so I have great or garbage. Do we want to do we stick with
good, great, or garbage?
Good, great, or garbage. Okay, I like it.
Does it need like a 4th option?
Good, great, garbage.
Is good mid? Good/mid, fine. But in gaming though, mid is considered bad.
Garbage,
so now I'm not even sure.
Garbage, good, great, goated.
Okay, okay. I'll try to remember all this.
I'm going to try. We'll add another one midway through just to spice things up. All right, let's start with Batroc the Leaper.
Oh, it's great card. Goated card. I think is it Batroc?
I think
I'm
it's
not even sure, man.
Yeah,
I get roasted no matter what I say with this damn card. Batroc the Leaper is goated. I think the card's phenomenal for a 1.
I think for a
it's
1,
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to say goated. I'm going to say goated too. I think, and we're talking within move, right? So yeah. And or like the grand aspect of things. That's fine. Goated. Cool. Topaz.
Topaz is good. I think Topaz is probably underappreciated. My play experience with Topaz was relatively positive, very reliable, pretty good. Even in like, I didn't ultimately make the best versions of like bounce move or anything like that, but I definitely think it has potential. It's a good card.
Hydra Stomper.
The Hydra Stomper's goated. I think Hydra Stomper's great. Even in my review of it, I was like, yo, this card's going to get no respect and it deserves so much better.
Yeah.
Hydra Stomper legit casually gets to like 10 power on a regular basis, just quietly. It just quietly crushes and no one really respects it. Like, it is one of the silent winners of Marvel Snap. It feels like Speed 2.0, where it's like, you look at, when you really analyze like untapped stats and you go through things, Speed's win rates, Speed's cube rates, and every deck with Speed is always doing good, except it's never the most popular rendition of a specific deck. Like, people are more willing to play decks that are worse and not have Speed in them than the Speed version that's clearly better.
Yeah.
And I think it's because a lot of people just didn't commit resources to get speed because he's just not exciting enough, right? I think that Hydra Stomper feels a similar vein. It's like, dude, this card is so good that no one's really paying attention to.
Yeah, I would say it's goated. I think for what you're getting out of it in the common stat lines, yeah, I would 100% agree there. It's okay. Before we go into some of the other cards, I don't know why we're not just showing them on screen, but what is is move still a gimmick? Has it transcended if you learn it? Could it be the best deck in the game if you master it? Where's move at if somebody wanted to get into it right now?
So move bounce, I think, has the potential to be literally rank 1. I mean, it was at the absolute top of the meta in the most sweatiest of MMRs, and that I mean is clear. But a very specific form of move bounce. So I think what happened is they were very cognizant of the fact that when they released Madam Web and they did all this stuff, even with Toxin and Beast and all the changes they made, they were very scared of what if they bounce Human Torch on turn 5 and then turn 6 Human Torch Taskmaster, and that's why they changed Taskmaster to a 6. I think that was one of the things that was kind of concerned. And then they released Frigga, which was able to copy an absolutely gargantuan Human Torch. And the reason why I bring this up, Cozy, is because Move has a tremendous amount of tools now. It has tremendously high win rate decks, but it sees almost no play. Like, there are going to be people at the absolute top end of the meta that will play move, and that's fine. They're playing competitively and they're playing a good shell, but like the average person just does not enjoy that style of play. Like, it's just that simple.
I feel like if this game was more competitive, like way more competitive, then we would see move get way more commitment, right? Like, I think ultimately, but yeah, to your point, like, because at the very top end of play, typically the super high skill ceiling stuff is what people like to bring in. And especially, I always think this in like any type of a tournament play or anything like that, unexpected, like, okay, so if a tournament's like an open deck list, right? What's your advantage there? Okay, your advantage, and what I would do at least in an open deck list tournament is I would play things that still gave me information that was hidden, okay, or that was not being able to be thought about. And so move can give you that option. That's why people like bounce as well, but also like it's why you see some kind of niche stuff sometimes in tournament play regardless, and or that's what I would expect.
No, absolutely. Like, if you want to commit to learning move, you have an incredible amount of power potential. You see daggers and Human Torches get to asinine numbers, right? If I'm going to be playing move, I'll be honest, I'm playing not Human Torch. I'm playing Phoenix Force versions. I'm not playing the move bounce stuff. I just don't like the play pattern. I'm sorry, I just don't, right? You're like, well, Alex, why do you use this gun in Call of Duty versus the other gun? I just like this one better. I don't know what to tell you, right? Like, I just like Phoenix Force better than the other styles. And that's, I think, totally fine. With regards to deck lists, by the way, I will say I personally prefer closed deck lists.
I do too. I've always
so much more.
Yeah, it's
like
better.
I think back to some of the most fun that I've had playing tournaments. Like even like here it is, bringing it back. When I was playing Kang,
you can't talk about it again. It's every day. I swear, I feel like you talk to your wife about it. I feel like you're like, hey,
every night.
You know,
we go to cuddle.
Kang
She's like, Alex, is this the night we're gonna watch Shutter Island? I'm like, actually, let's watch this replay.
Actually, let me tell you about Kang the Conqueror.
But it's like, yeah.
Have you ever heard the story of Kang the Conqueror?
Yeah, have you ever heard the story of the time that I played Kang the Conqueror? But outside of that, okay, let's just ignore I said all that because it's cringe. I get it. But I'm gonna go back to a closed deck list. I remember losing in a match against Molt. And the reason why I lost is because inexplicably he was playing move. Like, we knew that Molt was the move guy, but he was playing not an onslaught. Omega Red. I almost forgot the card's name. Omega Red in a move deck, and I could never have ever predicted that he was going to add that power across the board with an Omega Red play. Like, I just never. And he won like 4 Qs off me, and I was like, bro, I just played Omega Red. Bro, and that is what surprise cards do competitively.
100%. I agree. I went back, by the way, and I was putting together a casting reel for doing some projects coming up. And I was going back and I looked at some of the Conquerors tournaments. Dude, it's crazy they didn't lean into that. It's so wild that they did not lean into Conquerors, because I went back and watched, I was grabbing some of the footage. I just thought it was really fun. So it was cool to see that kind of back in the heyday. It's also crazy seeing how much simpler things were back then. In Snap, especially, and just in general, man. But all right, next up, Aranya. Aranya was like, whoa, the card. Where's she now? Good, great, garbage, or goated?
You know what? Good. She's probably just good.
I'm gonna say
she's
good.
Not garbage.
Yeah, she's not
garbage, but she's not great. Cannonball's like, he's great. He might be goated. Let's be honest. He's
I think
minimum great. Yeah.
I think he's goated. Captain Marvel. Always the move card.
You know what? I love this card so much. It's one of my absolute favorite designs. It bothers me that it doesn't work the way it should. Like, if you have multiple, they should really calculate the win condition by themselves altogether. But I like it. It's a great card, but it doesn't play like a great card, I guess.
Where the hell is Cloak these days?
I don't know. He's invisible, isn't he?
I think he's in Rivals. That's it. Like, that's the only place I've seen him. Yeah, Cloak is garbage. Yeah, just a garbage. Back in the day,
I feel bad for Cloak,
nice.
man. Every time someone picks Cloak and Dagger in Rivals, and we're in like the lobby waiting to like go, and you know, like when everyone's just like, it's like we start in 60 seconds, and everyone's just smashing vases and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
No one's ever just idling as Cloak. They're always idling as Dagger, and I wonder why.
That's what it does. You can't.
No, I mean you could switch, but I think it's the butt.
Oh, you mean when you're waiting? I thought you meant in the priest screen when you're like in the lobby.
I'm talking about when, like, you know, when everyone's just standing there and they're like just putting sprays on the door.
It's definitely the booty, man. It's the goons, man. The goons are strong. Yeah, Ultron's coming out. Did you see Ultron's gameplay? It's sick, bro.
Yeah, I watched your video, dude. We just talked about this. He released like 7 videos in 4 hours. I was like, what's this guy doing right now? He's like apparently not living life. Apparently just grinding
it's
videos.
Up there. It's up there as one of my favorite like releases. Colossus the There he is. There he is. Cyclops.
Let's move X-Men.
Dagger, stated Dagger, +2.
You know what, man? I've not played much Dagger. Like ever since they changed it from it reduced the scaling. I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I
honestly am not even sure. It's probably still good. It's probably great. It's still probably puts a power. I just have not been playing.
I think it's great. I don't think it's goated anymore. I think it was goated. But in bounce, that is probably still very, very good for somebody who's high IQ. Doctor Strange still think it's just a crime what this guy does in this game, comparable to what he is. But move highest power cards to this location.
Yeah, he's okay.
This is one of those, gotta say it, draft cards I think would be so fun to see in a draft game mode. Like, out of nowhere, you're playing, you're like, I got this guy beat, and then he like stranges you. Like, no one would ever expect that. Like, that's the only time he could be useful in that kind of a format.
Do we have a card that'll strange or move the highest power card of an enemy? Like, if they have like a Giganto in a location, could you pull their highest power card to another location?
Cannonball, bro.
Cannonball, yes, but Cannonball does it in the location. Doctor Strange will pull it
to a location. No, it doesn't do that, and we don't have one of those.
I guess Arrow kind of does, but not really.
Kind of. No, what the hell is that? Why does it say move?
What'd you search?
Move. This is move.
These are all move cards?
This is under the thing of move. And there's like some missing here too. Ghost Spider.
Ghost Spider's a good card. Is it great? I don't know. Like, it's a huge enabler. Without Ghost Spider, most of his decks feel absolutely awful.
I think it's great. If the Leapers go to, I think it's great.
Yeah, because I mean, it's without Ghost Spider, all those decks are way worse.
Heimdall. 6'10". I feel like they finally got this guy right. He still doesn't feel
I love this
perfect.
This variant.
I know, bro. Back when no one had it too. Oh, it's a $100 variant. I've saved so much money not buying variants, bro.
I know. I feel so bad. I interrupted your talk just to say I love this variable. Like, honestly, I've been teaching way too much comp sci lately. I'm so confused. Where am I?
Well, moving on, I think Heimdall, we still want to do left and right, but it is, at this point, we're not getting that. What about Hercules, man? Actually, no, wait, we didn't even say good, great, or garbage on this guy. What are we saying?
I think he's good. I don't think he's great yet.
I think he's great.
He should be great. He should be great. He's just not quite there yet.
Dude, I talked about this guy coming to Rivals. I'm like, I wish it'd be so cool to have him with his big old sword and whatnot. Hercules, good, great, garbage, goated.
Yeah, he's garbage. Get him out of my face.
the tone shift happened. I would agree. I agree. Human Torch.
Goated. This guy's goated. Let's be honest. This is so much power generation. This is such an insane scaler. Absolutely goated. If you had another card that can get over 100 power as a one drop, it would be broken.
Goated. Hydra Bob. No, come on, we can. Iron Fist.
How dare you skip Hydration Bobber? The card is goated.
I tried to skip him so fast that you wouldn't say the name, and you found a way to just slip it in there anyway.
I think Iron Fist is good. I like Iron Fist. I think it's good. It serves a purpose. It does the thing. Maybe does it need to be a 1/3? I don't know. I always think about like should the other move cards have a little extra power, and maybe should like the Human Torches and daggers be toned down a little bit? Like, do we need a more balanced approach to power and move? I don't know, man. I don't play the archetype much.
It's like discard has that right to do its enablers, but yeah, I think a 1/3 Iron Fist I don't think breaks anything. That's for sure. Jeff.
I'm so sad. I can't believe this card is so irrelevant. I don't want to say it's garbage.
Maybe he comes back with Xorn.
Why?
Professor X. I don't know. No idea. Juggernaut. Goated.
Goated. This is goated. This is one of the best cards in the game.
Wait, what's Jeff now?
One of the worst cards in the game?
No, dude. That's
Power crept out of existence.
I think he's good. Where's Craven at these days?
Dude, Craven's crushing it, but Craven's only good because Sam Wilson is good. And the decks that want Sam Wilson don't mind having Craven. And then now Silk's coming back, so Craven's making a comeback. Craven's legit. It's legit.
Yeah, like good, great, or garbage. What did you say, good?
I would say great right now. Definitely great, but very meta dependent.
Yo, I forgot Leech was a card.
Honestly, probably one of the best Dan hips in the game, though.
Yeah, that you never see. Madam Web.
Madam Web. I've had a complicated relationship with Madam Web in the past. I will say that I think the card ultimately is probably closer to great. It really does add a lot to move. Like it really made move viable in a way that other cards could never. So I do think that for move specifically, it's probably great.
I'm gonna say great. I do too. Would you want it as a 1/0 instead?
I don't know what I want. I don't play the archetype enough. I don't know what I want. It doesn't go into Phoenix Force, so I don't care.
Fair enough. Okay. I would say great though. Magneto.
Does he need something?
I feel
when
like
was the
he
last
does.
time we played Magneto?
What does he need though?
He needs, first of all, he needs a hug. I think Magneto's one of those guys. Like if a good hug would correct a lot of Magneto's problems.
What about the cards he moves? He puts -1 on.
I think he needs a massive ring on his shoulders that gets charged as he absorbs damage.
Like throws a meteor at somebody.
Yeah.
Do you think though? No,
I think Magneto
honestly, I think he's
might need power.
I think he's good. I think that no, that's what I'm saying. The -1 thing at least gives him power in a way.
What if he was a 6/10 that stole 1 energy from every card he moved?
So
he can go to a potentially 6/14, but he's displacing those cards, but also competing with them from a power perspective. I think that's better than a 6/12.
I like it.
Because he's moving them, right? He's the master of magnetism. Why can't he steal some power?
They need to bring
when
him
he
back.
moves Wolverine in the movies and stuff, Wolverine's not enjoying it.
But why do that when you could just release another Magneto?
I guess that's true.
Where's
Brings
Miles
another
at?
card. Miles is legit. We got so much stuff moving around now. He's just a free 1/6.
That's a great
Remember,
Xorn card.
They buffed Miles. He was a 1/5 or 4/5, I should say.
This is a good Xorn card because this is like anytime you can play him. Essentially, it's like moving Jeff or whatever, like without having to do commitment to the move per se.
Yeah. You play Xorn turn 2, skip turn 3, Miles turn 4 on Xorn.
Can you? Yeah. Can you play the 1-costed Miles at that point?
I don't know if did you get my joke or no? I think you missed my joke.
I
My
think I
joke
did.
was you play the 4-cost Miles on top of the Xorn. It was a great joke, obviously. I thought it was funny. I thought
That was
it was
a
really
better
funny.
joke. That was a better joke.
On multiple man, I think the card's probably good, but on the lower end, because like the only place you're seeing much multiple man is ironically Phoenix Force, which I managed to bring up 100 times today. And even then, multiple man is not the preferred avenue for Phoenix Force. Generally speaking, I like to pull the Human Torch, move Phoenix Force around a bunch, and then Zola it for the double clap. But like multiple man's a good fallback. Don't get me wrong, it is. But like outside of that, it just doesn't get the love it deserves. And I think part of it is one of the major challenges of the move is Snap is very constrictive space-wise, and Multiple Man just needs way too much space, and numbers get way too high for Multiple Man to be relevant.
I like him. He's like my OG king. I can't ever like him. But yeah, I agree. I think, I mean, as we continue to get these kind of like stat boosting cards, like it's helping them. And we've got a lot of them lately. So, you know, The more those come out. Scream's goated. We already know Scream's goated. Don't have to do that. Where's Vision at these days?
I love Vision. I think Vision's super underappreciated. He's just not fancy enough. Again, there's just so much tight complexity to snap decks these days. Synergy is through the roof. There's just not much there for Vision anymore, despite the fact that I think he's a great card.
And Vulture.
I mean, let's be honest. Vulture's actually a good card. Like, this card gets to tremendous power.
3/9,
easily.
very
One
easy.
move, man. He's a 3/9.
This is like,
let's be honest.
This is such a good play with Xorn. It's crazy. And the fact that you can have, that's why I like him so much. The fact you have Xorn down at 2 and then you just need to draw Vulture at any other point and you get yourself a 3/9. Congratulations. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, if you play Vulture, then you play Red Wing next. Like, how much value could you possibly expect to extract from a single card?
That's not bad. It's
there you go. Bad. See, it's better than Iron Man Zola.
You play Vulture down, it moves over, and then you frigga that.
Boom.
Boom.
Beautiful. I do like that.
If you could try to design something for Move to make it more fun and accessible, what would it be?
Damn, that's a hard question to put me on the spot with. What would I design for Move to make it more relevant? Man, I actually don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't play that archetype enough. And to sit here and be like, oh, I think it needs this would be, I think, disingenuous. I feel like the most fun way to play Move right now is ironically the Scream Disruption style move where you're moving your other opponent's cards for them, right? But maybe it's locations. I think it's locations. Like, I don't want to say we need an ARAM mode where we get rid of like all the spots and increase. Maybe there's a move card that allows cards to move like as an extra slot. What if there's a move card that ignores space restrictions in a location, right? Like, that's one of the major challenges it has. And even the way like you Heimdall and like the position, the macro position of the cards matters, and then cards get rammed against each other and jammed and stuff. It's just, I think it's a space game, and that's why the bounce variation is probably the best, because it accommodates the space requirement so effectively. It just, I think it's a design issue with Snap. Like, Move and Snap itself might not be congruent with one another.
I want a card that's 6 costed that instead of Heimdall, it's very low powered, but you play it down and everything's New York, so you can move around and shuffle whatever you want to on your set of locations. Low power card is just kind of the activation of it, because I feel like it's broken, but I feel like if it was low powered enough, what it does is it amplifies what I like the most about Move, and that's the unpredictableness of it. And to be able to like place this guy here, this guy here, this guy here, and then that guy, they have to try to like process what you're doing.
I had this thought that like they released this
Isn't
card.
that dope?
It's like they're doing like,
idea.
It's a cool idea, but they're like, hey, we got this new card. It's Beyonce. And it's like, and as you play it, it does that New York song. Is that Beyonce, by the way? New York.
I hate you. I thought this was a great idea, and you hit me with that.
It's a legit. I'm just saying. What
no,
if the card was signed
I don't know
by
what
Beyonce?
I would do on the locations. Put 5 in one, and then I come up with what I thought was okay, and then you said Beyonce.
You basically no. You said I want a Legion New York is what you said. Okay, I'll give you credit. Your idea is good. I just think the card should be called Beyonce, and it should sing the song. I don't even know if Beyonce sings that song. This is one of those moments where people are going to tilt up, be like, I can't believe Alex confused Beyonce with whoever, and I'm going to be embarrassed. I don't know
Beyonce.
better. You guys think I do. I don't know better. I'm sorry.
It's not Beyonce. I'm 99% sure it's Beyonce's husband, Jay-Z, and then it's Alicia Keys.
Wait, that's their daughter?
No. What the hell? No.
Okay, I'm really confused. I don't know. Listen. So Alicia Keys is Beyonce's daughter?
How did you get there? No, I said it's Beyonce's.
Man, are these working?
It's Beyonce's husband. Okay, Jay-Z. You know who that is?
I've heard of Jay-Z before.
Yeah, I just checked.
He did the thing with Linkin Park.
He did the thing with Linkin Park. Like, that's who Jay-Z is to you. You're the most white man I know.
Bro, he did.
Yeah, he did, but he did
sick.
like way more than that back in the day. Now he's in Muddy Waters.
You know what? I'm confusing Jay-Z and Ludacris. Because I was gonna say he does like the BIT Get Out of the Way song. That's Ludacris, right?
Who do you think
like
the 3 most important rappers are at all times? For all
Who
time?
do I think are the 3 most important rappers of all times?
Mm-hmm.
Eminem, DMX, Ice Cube.
Ice Cube. You know Ice Cube's a stretch so bad. State of Snap. Listen. All right, State of Snap. Where are we at with the state of Marvel Snap right now? If we were to talk about... So, Garbage, good, great, or goated. Where's Snap right now?
Don't do this to me.
No. I'm gonna do
Don't
it.
put this on me.
I'm gonna put it right on you.
Why you gotta make me do this?
I'm gonna put it on you.
You go first.
No.
Where do you think it is? Come on, man.
It's good.
Because it's not, you know it's not goated. You know it's not goated.
No, it's good.
I don't think it's great.
No, it's good.
It's going to be between
Right
good
now,
and great.
it's
It's
good.
definitely not garbage.
It's definitely
not
between
garbage.
good
This
and
game's a
great.
good game.
It's between good
this
and
game's a
great
good
right now for sure. I think the really where it comes down to is like the core experience is great, the cards are great, the gameplay is great, and that's always going to stay the same. Like I think we can all agree on that. You know, there'd be no reason for us to continue this podcast if we didn't thoroughly enjoy the game still. To me, the thing that I just can't wrap my head around is just the commitment to bringing newness to it. Like I feel like it's just outside the cars, it's been stalled there, and it's obvious. It's years into it now, and I've played mobile. It's a mobile game at the end of the day. I think that's what it is. It's a mobile game, and now that we've kind of moved on from that, that's what it is. It'll never be anything else. That's what Snap is. Like it is a great game, or it's a mobile game. It's like that's what it is.
It's a phenomenal game, and I'm concerned. There's a couple things I'm concerned about. The first thing is, like you mentioned, the cards do bring a lot of like pulse to the game, and that's Glenn, right? And I wonder, like, what if Glenn moves on? Then what? You know what I mean? Like, then what? Like, I'm serious. Like, it sounds like a joke, and I'm not trying to just like, you know, pump Glenn's ego. Like, I do highly respect Glenn a lot, and I think that he's well respected, even in the Magic community. Glenn's one of the absolute goated people in card games. If Glenn's like, or if they're like, you know what, we're gonna go into cruise control, and Glenn's no longer part of Snap, like, I'm concerned for that day, man. Like, I actually am. But I think that what they need to really do to correct course here is obviously the Snap packs was good, but I think that we need legitimate improvements to the game modes. We need we just need to feel like there's love and care and attention going into the game. The Snap team is obviously incredibly talented, and I'm actually super looking forward to what they release next. Like whatever their new game is there's rumors they're working on something. I'm sure they are, of course. I bet it's going to be an absolute banger. But they have an absolute banger here with a community that like.
Well, it's been 2.5 years they've been working on something. There's definitely they've been working on something for 2.5 years. I can confirm that 100%. Like that's what they're doing. Yeah. I don't know the status of the game. I don't even know what the game's about. If someone were to ask you, all right, I started Snap. I played the first 2 months of release. I'm coming back. What has come out since launch in Snap outside of the cards?
Basically, Conquest mode, which I don't touch unless the variant is an absolute banger, like the Negasonic was.
That first comes to mind. I know there's more stuff, but first comes to this 3 years worth of content in this game. 3 years.
Card Mastery, which I'm not a huge fan of. I think your point's being proven here. Like I'm struggling here. Is there like, am I missing something? Of course
I'm not saying this to be like negative Nancy. It's just like this is like
no, I know
this is where it's just like what has come out. Okay, and I can list some things like bam, here we go, albums. What was that thing that came out? Alliances.
One of the most underutilized features in the entire game.
Temporary game modes. Okay,
no, actually, I will say the temporary game modes for the most part are a nice pulse of
but
energy.
you didn't think about them right away, and you play every day, and it's still cool to see how great of a community this game has, and like I love it. I'm so grateful how great this game still is, and that we make content on it. Right? I think it's always like, you know what it feels like to me, bro? It feels like whenever you have a really good roster on a sports team. Actually, dude, this can hit home with you with the Leafs. But like with the Patriots, if like we had a really good roster and we didn't win the playoffs, or we didn't like we fell short of our expectations, I'd be like, damn it, look what we had. We had that. Like we could have done it. And then it's too late. It doesn't matter. It's too late at this point. But look what we did have, you know? And so it's like that's where I feel like I still love the Patriots, but like, man, we didn't win that year or whatever. And it feels like there's 2 years that Snap could have, you know, really ran home with some cool stuff and just didn't. So where do I see it? I think this game's gonna be around for a very long time. I still stand by that. I still think it's I still think it's, you know, the best digital game to play. Pokemon Pocket did $1 billion in revenue, so it definitely is not making the most or anything, but it's still a very great game in that, you know, ecosphere. Different games, different strokes for different folks. But does that make sense? Does that fall? And this is not like a doom and gloom conversation. I think it's more just like two bros chatting about the game they love.
No, I know. And I think that's something that people often miss the mark on, where it's like, they give us heat because like, oh, these guys, they don't love the game. I saw comments like that too, and I'm like, man, like the only reason why we're still here is because we do love the game.
Too
like
deep,
that's the only
yeah.
reason why we're still. I mean, I love you more, to be honest with you, and I'll talk to you about anything you want. Marvel Snap can disappear, and my desire to speak to Cozy Snap will still remain. But like, yeah, we do love this game. And when I'm just sitting by myself, whatever, and I want to play something, I boot up Snap. And I don't play meta stuff. I'll play Silver Surfer. I'll do whatever. I find my way to enjoy the game. I think that most people have to do that. But what you're talking about, I think, is so true. Like when this game released, if I can go back in time, I would have flown out to into California, wherever that they're from, and I'd say, guys, hire someone for organized play, hire an organized play manager. Like get the scene going now.
Let's get an X-Men only tournament. Let's
get
get the Avengers only tournament. Everybody in right now. Yeah, exactly. Build the base behind it. Let's get creators involved where you can and do what you can there. And regardless, like, let's make it, hey, 80% of the game's casual. Hell yeah, let's lean into these things, right? That can make it fun for casual play too. So I think that the ceiling was built there, and that's kind of where they went, with it. The game is incredibly successful. Vidbro will always be a genius in my eyes. I will talk. If I'm ever on a stage one day, I will credit him for just the genius that he is. But yeah, so that's the thoughts. So like, where can it go from here? Like, what can change? It's like, okay, so they're trying to do more tournament stuff. Awesome. That's going to take some time, but I think that would help if they go that direction. We'll stand by it. And the one thing they have going is the new cards are always good, right? And just like Rivals brings new heroes, those are going to hit. New cards are going to hit, like, period. They're going to hit. They're going to do good. But it's, the stuff around it. So excited to see the potential, what they could bring, and hopefully they bring it, buddy.
I agree. I'm cautiously optimistic for the future. I would like to see some major changes, and I hope they deliver on it. I do.
You know what? I think being cautiously optimistic is great. What I want to do is like ask one thing we get awesome on the Snapchat is insanely good comments. What do you, so like, guys, is Snap being just a casual game what you want? Awesome. Because I would agree. I think that's fine. I think that's all I would want as someone who wasn't making content. Do you want Snap what do you want the most from Snap? Period. I just want to know. I would love to know what you want the most from Snap. Put them down below. Maybe we'll talk about it the week to follow. Either way, guys, go ahead and check out Alex's side of the episode. We're going to talk about Elixir. It is it's a card. And then we're going to talk about the cards you must play, the new cards you're not playing that you should play.
Best cards no one's playing.
Best cards nobody's playing. Go check that out. And the Snapchat mailbag. Have a good one. Have a great one. Till the next one. Happy snapping.